Hey, welcome to Broken World Entertainment, and this is the full spoiler review of Prey, aka Predator 5. It is 5, and is it 5 or 4? Yeah, it's 5. So, the movie starts off with our main character, uh, Naru, getting woken up to go and do her daily chores of foraging. So we see her and the other women of the group heading out, and she's digging up roots with her tomahawk. But she kind of sneaks off or wanders off and starts throwing the tomahawk for target practice into trees because she wants to be a hunter. And while she's getting the tomahawk, she notices tracks. Deer tracks. So her and the dog go tracking this deer, and she finds it. She comes across it and she says, oh, it's a whitetail. This is where you get one scene from the trailer which made it look like one thing, but it's actually this, which is when she's giving the dog the signal. In the trailer it looks like she's saying we're gonna kill the bear. It's not. She's actually telling the dog to pretty much, if the deer takes off, run with it, turn it to where she wants it to go, like sheep herding, you know. So she's about to take the shot for the deer, and there's this almighty crack in the sky like thunder, but it's very electrical sounding. Spooks the deer takes off, she goes running after it, throwing the tomahawk. Doesn't get it. Deer gets away, but she hears that thunder again. So this is then when we get the other scene from the trailer, which is the Predator ship arriving. Only it's a bit different from how the trailer actually showed it. So she comes out onto that cliff edge and sees the clouds rippling. The ship isn't coming down through the clouds, it's actually moving through. It's pushing through the clouds. And you can see the orange glow of the cloak at the front being affected by the clouds. So she thinks this is a sign that she's meant to be a hunter, because the next scene is her hunting it looks like an eagle, could be a hawk, with her brother. And they're talking about him going on trials with his father for hunting, and that she should stick to what she's good at type thing. He's telling the story and she's pretending to Fossey, but she says to him she believes she saw the sign to tell her she's meant to be a hunter, and she calls it the Thunderbird. She saw the Thunderbird in the sky. And what she's saying, he fires his arrow and hits the bird. That's like, I don't know, probably about 100 and something kilometers away. And it has a fish in its claws, which she turns around and says, yeah, I was waiting for it to circle back, because now you have to walk all the way across the river to get it. So the next scene is she's arriving back in camp. She's got a fish with her, so whether she caught one or not, don't know. But then she's in the teepee. This, by the way, is where you get that line in the trailer which made the trailer seem very kind of, oh, it's going to be super woke, which is the why do you want to be hunter line. So I'm assuming it's her mother. I don't recall them saying whether it's her mother or someone else, but I'm assuming it's her mother. But she's making medicine while Naru is trying to fillet a fish using her tomahawk until the mother gives her the knife. So she cuts the knife and cuts the knife. No, she doesn't. She uses the knife to cut the fish. Gives the tail to the dog. The dog goes off and she's like, yeah, dog's quite smart, isn't it? So they're having a conversation about the medicine that the mother is making for the tribal chief, I believe she says, is ill. And this is where this flower becomes important. She says, are you not using orange, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Tutitsia? And the mother's like, how do you know about that flower? And she's like, oh, well, you know, you've taught me, blah, blah, blah. And this is where the line is. She goes, you're so good at the medicine and all that type of stuff. Why do you want to be a hunter? And she says, because y'all think I can't. The brother arrives back and it's all like, yay. He got the bird and all the rest. So the mother says, hey, can you actually go and forge some more of the orange Tutitsia? So she goes off. Nardu goes off to get this flower. She cuts up a bunch of them, puts them into a bag, but then she takes leaves off another one and sticks it in her little pouch around her neck. As she's arriving back into the camp, there's something going on. There's people kind of all rushing around. She sees the guy. I think it's the guy in the trailer who is in the long grass that pulls her down and tells her to shh. She says to him, like, what's going on? He says, one of the guys, one of the hunters has gone missing and they have to find him. So they're going out to find him. And while they're out there, she sneaks up on them, basically. Your man's about to fire his arrow. You think it's the predator. You hear noises where you're like, is that the predator sound? But the brother comes over, grabs the arrow off the dude and puts it down. She comes out and he's like, hey, you could have got shot if sneaking around like that. And who's sneaking? One of the other guys straight away is like, who invited you? And her brother says, like, we can use her. You know, she's good at tracking and she's really good at medicine. So if we find them alive, she could help with the medicine end of things. And the guy's a bit snarky at her, you know, he's like, oh, we're not going to be out here long enough for you to have to cook first and all this type of stuff. So now they're all going to look for this dude that's missing. And while they're doing that, we flip to the next scene of the predator. Who is, you see an ant walking in the grass. It's hard to make out what it is at first. You're like, what is that? But it starts walking up the predator's leg while it's cloaked, and it makes a great sound of it interfering with the cloak, to where we then get, you see I'm not sure what kind of animal it is. I know if you see the name you'd go, oh yeah, it's one of them things. Can't think of what it's called. It's like a cross between a rat and a guinea pig, really. You people are like, oh, what an idiot. It's one of these. I honestly can't remember what the hell it's called. But it's there. And there's a snake. The snake grabs that thing and starts it. But the predator moves and the snake all of a sudden is aware. And the snake kind of stands up and realizes, if it's a rattlesnake, it would make sense that it knows where the predator is, because they attack body heat. So it's up, and you're seeing it through the predator's cloak. Like, you're looking through the predator at the snake, so it's a bit distorted. And the snake launches for the predator, and the predator stabs it like with its knives. Now, I thought it ripped it in half. Apparently it didn't. It just skinned it. So then we're back with Nardu and her brother and the group. They find the dude who's all messed up. He's all these big slashes on his shoulder. They're like, yeah, he's still alive, but we need to get him back or else he's gonna die. She gives him some of that orange Tutizia stuff. And they're like, what done this? And they're like, a lion. So they're wondering why the lion didn't finish him off. The thing about the lion is, when I heard them say a lion, I was straight away like, a lion? Well, there's no lions in the States. What the hell are they talking about? It's meant to be a mountain lion. They just don't say mountain lion. Weirdly though, when you see it, it looks like a cougar to me, to be honest. But I'm not an expert, so whatever. We go later to a clip that you briefly saw in the trailer. We see a rabbit in a field. Well, field, it's just open plain, really. And the camera unfocuses from the rabbit to what's behind it, and there's a wolf sneaking up on the rabbit. Rabbit realizes, takes off. Wolf goes running. This is where another bit of the wonky CG is. You can see the wolf is real, but you can definitely tell the rabbit isn't. The rabbit is at the start, before it runs, but when it's running and it's being chased, you can tell it's not real. But the wolf gets smacked out of its stride by the predator. And the wolf is kind of like, what the hell is that? He starts sensing that there's something there. And it's growling, and that's where you get that shot that's also in the trailer of the wolf and the predator's blades coming in. So the wolf starts attacking the predator, and it actually starts doing some damage to the predator. You know, it's piercing skin. Predator throws the wolf comes charging. You get this shot, this long shot of the wolf running, jumping past the predator, takes a swipe at it with the blades. But it looks like nothing happened, because you see the wolf turn, growling, getting ready to run again, and all of a sudden, all of its insides just fall out of its stomach and it just drops. And the predator takes the wolf's spine and skull. And this is where you get one of the first things where you can tweak and kind of go, hang on, he's not hunting people. He's actually hunting animals. What's going on? So, he's up in the cave. They could, it's starting to get dark and stuff. I'm probably missing a few bits, but it's okay, because just trying to get through this quickly. They come across tracks. The guy's freezing, by the way. The one that they gave the flower to. He's now freezing, and they're trying to cover him up, and she's like, no, don't. That'll actually kill him. This is good for him. We need to bring his temperature down. She comes across tracks, and it's clear it's the predator's foot. But they think it's a bear, and she's like, but why is it standing on its hind legs? And then they find the snake that's skinned, and they're like, what the hell would do that? So her brother decides he needs to go off and find the lion and kill the lion. So him and one other dude bugger off to kill the lion. At some point, can't remember exactly where. Well, that could be. She follows them. They find the lion den. They are saying the two guys are like, okay, we do this and we do that. And she's like, no. We need to set a trap and wait it out, basically. One of the guys is like, that could take days. Like, we don't know how long it'll take. But the brother agrees with her and goes, yeah, look, we'll give it a try to lure it out. So the brother takes up position somewhere while Naru and this other guy get up into the tree. And this guy just starts shy talking her. He's all like, "No, I can't believe you went with your idea and this is stupid and you don't know what you're doing. You should stick to what you're good at, blah, blah, blah." And then he starts going on about when I killed this lion. And all of a sudden, boom, he's gone from the tree. I'm still not sure whether the lion, to start with, you think it's the predator. You're like, oh, the predator just took this dude out. Because he's just gone from the tree, screaming, and then you just see him getting dragged off into the grass, screaming. And you're like, oh, I guess the predator got him. It's not, it's the lion. Or mountain lion, I should say. Which ends up in the tree with Nardu. It jumps for her. She tries to stab her with a spear, falls out of the tree, hits her head, passes out, wakes up in the TP with back home. And she's like, how the hell did I get back here? Like, and the mother's like, yeah, your brother had to carry you back. He went out. He comes back with the lion, carcass over his shoulders, with its head in its hand. He gets promoted to like hunting chief or something. The thing she wants. So later on, she's meant to go off and do her forging again, but she fecks off in a different direction, and she starts throwing the tomahawk at trees again. And she's realizing that the reason she's failing at hunting is she's wasting time with the tomahawk. She's throwing it and it's taking her time to retrieve it. This is where she comes up with the idea of she ties the rope to it, so when she throws it she can pull it back. This is the one issue I have with her kind of training. It's good that they showed her training so you kind of get an idea of, oh, you know, she can take on a few things because you've seen her training. The fact that she's straight away just an expert at throwing the axe and pulling it back and catching it properly. They should have had her fail a few times with that first, but they didn't. She's just straight up great at doing that. Is it a big deal? Not really, but you know, if it would have worked a bit better. But she's out. Oh, by the way, one quick thing. When she was hunting the deer and the deer got away, the dog got caught in a bear trap, which she clearly never seen, only by the tail. That comes in important later. So she's out there doing her thing, and the dog barks. You know, a lot of time passes with this. The predator then we see up in the cave, which is that poster where it's standing there in that cave, admiring its freshly made skull, you know, skin skull, whatever. And it hears the dog Sari bark and stands up and is like, ooh, you prey. This is when we get to the bear scene. So she's coming along, finds tracks, follows the tracks, boom, sees the bear eating a deer. It looks like a deer anyway. So her and the dog are up on this cliff looking at the bear. But the wind shifts and now the bear can smell her. So the whole scene with the bear starts off here. She's going to shoot the arrow at it. The string breaks. The bear comes running up the hill and starts going after the dog. The dog takes off and gives her time to fix the bow. She runs down. No sign of the dog or the bear. All of a sudden the dog just comes pissing past her, barking like mad, as in, I would assume if the dog was speaking it'd be like, run you dumb bitch, run. She looks back, there's the bear, takes the shot at the bear, runs under the water. Now we're into the trailer. She's up into the beaver dam. Bears come to her. By the way, the effects on the bear, not great. And this was a dude in a suit as well. So Here's also where the movie differs from the trailer. We see in the trailer the bear almost getting to her in the dam, and boom, it drops dead, gets pulled out. It doesn't. That doesn't happen. It's about to get her, but it stops. It smells something new. It walks away. And then it gets up on its hind and she looks out, and you notice that the predator is standing there. And the bear and the predator start fighting. And the bear kicks the shit out of the predator and beats it at least twice. Like, it's doing damage. And she's like, what the hell is going on out there? Like, what is that? And the bear gets stabbed, I'm assuming. But it falls back into the dam. That's where you get that scene of its head kind of just dropping. Then he gets dragged out, and she sees the predator lifted over its head, but its stomach is split up, so all the blood starts pouring out onto the predator, onto his cloak, and it starts revealing him. This is when we get the next thing that makes you tweak and kind of go, oh, hang on. Is the predator notices Naru? And you start to realize this seems to be Predator's first time noticing humans. And it's weird. So it starts kind of going after her, and she takes off. She gets caught in a bear trap. Predator walks up, realizes she's not a threat because she's now injured. I'm assuming it's because she's injured. They try and make out later, which is a bit stupid, that it's because it thinks she's weak because she's a girl. It's not. It's because she's injured. So it fecks off. She gets caught by the French fur trappers. By the way, she did come across a field where there's just herds of buffalo skinned. And of course you're thinking the predator. No. It was the fur trappers. Because she's in the cage. They have the dog. And she sees the main guy wearing the buffalo fur. They bring out her brother. One of them speaks well, for us, English. It's obviously meant to be Comanche. Asking her, like, who she is, how to help, blah, blah, blah. She won't answer. But they bring out her brother, who they put a big cut across the chest on. Almost like, not that Mark Billy gives himself in the original. It's kind of like that. But they decide they seem to know something is out there. I think they still think it's the bear though. So they're going to use her and the brother as bait. So they tie them to a tree. But she knows that the predator's not going to kill them. Because they're not a threat. Because the title. Predator arrives. Predator comes in and just wrecks shop. It's destroying these dudes in some horrific ways. The only problem is the way it's shot. It's like they don't really want to show you the voice. It's like they were actually going for PG-13, but just start kind of adding some of that digital blood. It does kill one dude in a great way. Its shield that opens. It's got the guy pinned against a tree. It's actually the dude when you see the ad that he's holding against a tree, and the other guy comes running up with the axe. He grabs the axe, flicks that up, hits him. He opens the shield and it just cuts this dude's head in half. And the tree. And the predator's even kind of surprised by it. It's like, oh. But the predator is wrecking his shop. Her and the brother get free. The brother goes off to get the horses. Sees the horses run. He goes to get the horses. By the way, the thing with the mud which I forgot to mention because that's important later. Remember in the trailer you see her in the mud and you think, oh, is she gonna figure out that's how it won't see you? No, that's not the case at all. She just got stuck in the mud, was sinking down into it, and used her tomahawk to get out of it. Remember the flower. The flower is important. So I'm gonna skip ahead through some of this. The predator gets messed up. The brother comes out of nowhere and stabs it through the shoulder, I believe it's like. The hunters, or I should say the French fur traders, they got in some good shots on it. The rest of our clan got some shots on it. The bear and wolf got shots on it. It's getting weaker, and it's being hit with one of the bear chaps. All this stuff. So when we get to the final fight, which I'm just going to get to now, before the fight starts, the guy who could speak her language arrives back. She goes back to their camp to get the dog. He arrives, shows her the gun. He's got a missing leg. She helps him out. She gives him the flower, that orange Titizia. And he's like, hey, why am I freezing? And he plays dead when the predator arrives in the camp. And the predator actually can't see it. And that's where you realise, and she realises, like, he can't see him. And it's only after she gave him the flower. So the flower is how she's going to hide. But every time she sees the predator doing things, she's realising certain, like when it fires, it's like mini spears. Instead of a pulse cannon, it's mini spears. Wherever the target, the 3 red dots aim, is where those go. And you can move them in different directions. And they go wherever they are. She takes the flower. The predator arrives into the camp. She uses the main fella as bait. Predator kills him. She shoots it in the back of the head. The bullet goes through its head, blows the biomask off. So she grabs the biomask and sets that up. So now the predator is pretty much half brain dead. Comes across her, starts fighting her. Even the dog starts fighting this thing. But he falls into the mud and sinks. And you think, oh, is that it? He comes back out of the mud, aiming the spear thing at her. But of course, once he activates that, it activates the targeting system from the biomask, which she set up, that's aiming right at him. He fires. The things go whipping past him, goes around the forest, and he turns around and realizes, uh-oh. And boom, thing comes through, kills him. Predator pretty much kills himself. She beheads it, which you don't see. She just arrives back in camp with the head, throws it down, gets made hunting chief for some reason. And she's like, yeah, we gotta go. It's not safe here. We need higher ground. Movie ends. You see cave paintings of the entire movie up to that point, and then that one added thing to that cave painting, which is more predator ships coming down. So, that's basically the movie in a nutshell. Things I liked. The cinematography in this movie is beautiful. It's stunning. And I think one of the things that really helps is it was a real location. You know, it wasn't this Disney volume screens thing. It was real locations, and that really benefits from that. Her character was enjoyable. The brother's a great character as well. The dog is probably the standout character, to be honest with you. The way the predator kills and stuff, what it uses, was pretty cool. The music is great. There's absolutely no hint of the original music at all in this. And yet they throw in 2 things, which one of them really doesn't work. It's the brother when they're tied up against a tree. And she's like, I don't think we can kill this thing. And he says the Dutch line. He's, if it bleeds, we can kill it. And it just, even the way he delivered it, it just didn't work. You're like, ugh. You know, you'd rather a bit of the original music being put in rather than lines and stuff. And of course, the gun, the flintlock pistol that she's given by the French guy is the pistol that the elder Predator has in Predator 2. So the effects are quite wonky at times. The animals mainly, and the Predator's face. There's a couple of scenes with the Predator jumping through trees, which is a bit computer gamey. One or two guys that he kills, the way he throws them, they go flying and stuff. That's a bit off. The whole kind of wham and power at the end is a bit ugh. But other than that, it's a watchable movie. You know, it's not great. It's not terrible. It's definitely watchable though. It's very slow at the beginning though. It's like a good 40 minutes before the Predator really kind of starts doing anything. So just keep that in mind. But if you've watched it, I hope you watched it if you watched this review. But if you watched it, let us know what you think. Because we all had that question. How the hell is the little girl, like a 5'4", 120-pound girl, gonna beat this Predator? And it really sets that up throughout the movie though. Because the wolf does damage to it. The bear does damage to it. Her tribe people do damage to it. The French traders do some damage to it. The dog does damage to it. She shoots it in the head, which how it didn't die from that, I don't know, but that's severe damage to it. Her brother did severe damage to it. And then she had to use the mud and stuff, so it wasn't a case of she just bet it, you know. So, yeah, it didn't really go girl power for that, but bits of it did. Just the way she was kind of launching out trees and stuff, but whatever. But it's a watchable movie. So, let us know what you think of it if you've seen it. Do you plan to see it? Do you think it's good? Bad? Are you just kind of, it's alright? Let us know in the comments. Alright, I'll leave it there for this one. Cheers. Catch you in the next one.